Hi guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we are in the office and today's topic is why don't I work for the Big Four? Okay, so before I answer that, let's go back and look at what Big Four is. So if you don't know, Big Four is one of the largest consultancy accountancy firm in the world. You have PwC, Deloitte, KPMG, EY, and those are like the Big Fours. And the reason they are called the Big Four is that they are the largest companies in the world with location worldwide and have been in the market as a consultancies for many years, and giving them the authority and also giving them the trust of both the big corporations and also the legal side of things as well. So in case a company is being revised or being consulted by the Big Four, normally is looked as a good thing. In the contrary, I work for a boutique consultancy. So okay, what is a boutique consultancy? Boutique consultancy is normally quite specialized. If you look at the Big Four, in the Big Four will have multiple different, sectors and areas within the Big Four which does different things. But again, they are not as specialized in one particular kind of consultancy. And while boutique consultancy would have the whole focus around one speciality or what kind of consultancy. And that's exactly what I do. Let's look at the benefit and the drawback of that, right? If you have a more specialized consultancy, you will then work with clients on that particular topic and you won't have as broad of services as the Big Four have. What you will do is that you will learn one skill much quicker and actually you progress much quicker in that particular field. In the opposite corner, you have the Big Four where when you join it, so you're quite a generalist. So it's hard to be like a specialist in one particular field and it takes a little bit longer. But I'm not talking about more like entry levels. Not like if you go and join straight into like partner level or even further than that, because those levels are more specialized in some cases. But when you talk about entry levels, it's harder to specialize in one particular thing and it takes longer to get there because there's lots more steps to go through than a boutique consultancy. So boutique consultancy would be like a much smaller company with a couple hundred people. If you compare that to the Big Four have hundreds of thousands of employees, which comes back to another point which is also debatable if you actually is a positive thing or negative thing, is the size of the company. The size of the company has benefit and has its drawback. When it comes to the benefit is that you have much more opportunities when it comes to the global market in the Big Four. So the benefits of actually working for a larger company like the Big Four is that you are working for clients which are normally larger and also the geographical impact. So basically you have access to so much more resources and also access to so many different markets compared to a boutique consultancy, because the boutique consultancy wouldn't have the same kind of resources and also not as big geographically. So they won't have offices in every single city in the country. They won't have an office in every country or every region for that sake. But Big Four normally will have that. So they also have the resources to employ people in every single region. While boutique consultancy have limited budgets, they are normally specified in certain, geographical areas, which can be a positive thing and negative thing. Positive thing with that is that you know which market you're targeting with a boutique consultancy and you grow as with it. But the negative thing is that you won't have access to as many clients as you would if you were a Big Four. And let's also look at a couple of the, drawbacks and benefits of having a large company. With a large company, there's always what we call a growing pain. So if your company becomes too large, you need to have in place some regulatory processes. Becomes an issue which many of you guys know is the bureaucracy. So the bigger the company is, the more bureaucracy it is, because they have more levels, there's managers, there's so many people just goes up, and that just creates so much more bureaucracy that if you need something to be done, you need to go through so many steps to get it approved. That's something which personally I heard a lot of this from my colleagues, from other people I work with who have worked for Big Four like PwC, Deloitte, and KPMG and EY. They say the bureaucracy is something which actually made them move over to a boutique consultancy or a smaller consultancy or specialized consultancy, because they didn't feel like they had an impact on the business, which they were 100% correct. It's the EY way, it's the PwC way, and it's the Deloitte way. So they have a certain rules and the way process and the way to work, which not necessarily anybody can change, anybody can improve either. So they're stuck with quite a lot of old stuff just as a baggage of being a big company and having that name around it. But when it comes to boutique consultancy, it's a lot more flexible, it's sort of more agile. Because the numbers are so small, you have a much easier time to get in contact with somebody who has authority straight away. Or you can make a big change in the business itself because you are so close to, I guess, the management, which makes it so much easier to communicate problems and also good things as well. So it's easy to celebrate with your manager as well. In my case, it's that I'm sitting a couple of offices away from my CEO and the management, so I can easily go talk to them and actually explain my position. And also it's a good way to actually learn from them as well at the same time, which is quite hard to do in a Big Four. I guess my personal opinion, so don't hold me to that. That's what I've heard, what I've experienced. So now the biggest question mark is, I guess, the benefits or the pay and the salary. I won't go into what I earn in this video, but I'll talk about that in a separate video. But the salary is definitely different. I've seen and I've heard that the salary is better in the Big Four, and because of the, I guess, the vast majority of the business going to Big Four because of the name and the power behind the name, it's easy for them to generate more money as well. So you will have a certain benefits of working there. The bonus structure will be much better in some cases, but the base salary won't be that good. But when it comes to boutique consultancy, the base salary is normally going to be a little bit better than the Big Four. In some cases, I guess there will be some outliers there as well. On both sides, there will be companies which will give really high base salaries and bonuses, both in boutique consultancy. And there will be cases where you get really good pay in the Big Four as well, but it's unlikely because, you know, in Big Four, normally you go through the steps, and at a certain point, you will definitely get a high pay. But those steps are a little bit shorter in a boutique consultancy than a Big Four. That's what I've experienced myself, is that my pay increase have been much quicker compared to, I guess, people who are in the Big Four, who joined the Big Four at the same time I joined this company. So it's an equivalent way to, I guess, calculate the increase in salary and also the other bonuses as well. So now we looked at some of the benefits and drawbacks of working for a Big Four, and same thing working for a boutique consultancy. The main reason for me is not necessarily the pay, and it's not necessarily the size either. Like, I don't mind that, but I think the biggest thing is the bureaucracy and also the culture. I have been around and worked around so many different kind of consultancies, and most of my life I've been working around smaller consultancy, and the biggest reason for it is the culture. When I joined this company, I had office from the Big Fours and multiple from different parts of the world as well. But the reason I chose to go for a smaller company was the personal touch to it. Is the people I met during my interviews, during when I visited this company, actually made me stick here. And coming back to, again, the company bureaucracy and company culture. For me, I really value the connection I have with my peers and also with the management, because it's so easy to get to them. And for me, you can't replace that with anything else. Of course, you get better pay, but I'm getting a lot more quote-unquote shit for the same work, because I can't fully explain myself. I can't get the work I want to get. Like in my case right now, I can work with any clients I want to work with and any project I want to work with, and I can choose what I want to do in that project as well, which is quite different to the Big Four work. The Big Four will be generally quite structured, which is a good thing. I think if you like to be in a structure and want to know exactly what's going to happen in the next couple of months, and you can easily see your progression, go for it. But for me, I like the flexibility. I like to move around, and I like to really challenge myself to do things which I shouldn't do. Boutique Consultancy, or the company I work for, allowed me to take on risks and allowed me to take on tasks, projects which I wouldn't get anywhere, which I wouldn't get a chance to do because I was quote unquote inexperienced. But they said, okay, if you want to try, we give you the help, we give you the resources, try. Because for them, me trying it is actually valuable, because it's a personal connection, because they see, okay, I can deliver, or I potentially can deliver. But with Big Four, you're just a number, because they have thousands of other employees as well who is doing the same thing. For them, it's really hard for them to really bet on someone. But in a small consultancy and smaller firm in general, the management can see you, okay, you're putting our hours in, okay, this guy can do it. Okay, let's make him happy and let them have what he wants, because we can actually see that he's trying to deliver. So it's easy to show your capabilities, easy to grow, and easy to try new things, which I think is the most important thing when you actually join a company, and also when you get into the market, is that push yourself, push, because these are the years you really get benefit of in the future, all the hard work you've done. That's why I recommend people to weigh those things. If you want to go for more structured, progression, or you want more agile and a little bit more flimsy progression, but you can choose how fast you want to progress, which is up to you. But again, you have to take responsibility yourself. It's nobody holding your hand. There's no structure around you which will help you get up there. So that's the drawback. But I personally love it. So this is the main reason why I chose not to work with Big Four. Again, so all the things, all the drawbacks, all the factors which I mentioned in this video around Big Four or Boutique Consultancy are based on my experience. Again, I've heard different things as well. I know people who work for Big Fours, and many people say different things. Yes, some people say, no, we don't have the bureaucracy. Some people say we do. So of course there will be, some outliers in either one of them. But for me, that's the experience I had. So please take it with a grain of salt. And if you have anything which you think I said, which you don't agree with, please let me know in the comments below, because I want to know. Regardless of what I'm saying, I still might end up in a Big Four one day. But that's a different thing, because I was talking more about entry level. In the future, when I potentially change job, then I'll look at more senior level jobs. And then it's a completely different ball games, because then you will move into a different league of positions, which are a little bit different. Because again, in a boutique consultancy, there are some benefits in being a senior person in a boutique consultancy, or being a senior person in the Big Four. Benefits and drawbacks there as well. But that we'll look at when we get there. Right now, I'm enjoying my time in the company I'm in. But again, you will never know. If a good opportunity arrives, who knows where I'm going to be. So I hope you guys enjoyed this information-filled video, but it's mostly around my experience and my thoughts. So please do your own research on it, and if you have any questions or anything related to my job or the things I just said in the video, please put them down below in the comments, because I want to hear your thoughts, because it's important for me as well for going up to the next videos, where I'm going to talk about how much I earn, and also going to talk about my future, because again, I've been here 2 years. What's going to happen after 2 years? Let's talk about that in the next video, and I hope you guys to see you again soon. Until then, take care.